So, back for another episode of Believe in Boyt with this brand new team that was built by my little brother. So he competed a little bit in 2015 when I started competing. Then he went and did other things. I continued, but now he wants to play a bit more VGC, so he bought this team. Only a tiny bit of influence from me. It was mostly him, so this is going to be his team, and it looks like it's actually pretty reasonable. So I'm going to be going with it. And the team ID is in the top right. If you want to use this team yourself, there'll be a paste in the description. Also, I need more teams. I'm building my own teams, but I'm also struggling to get them in the game as well. So if I could get rental teams to borrow, that would be lovely. So if you have any suggestions for rental teams that you would like me to use, then please do let me know, because I will be considering the ones that I do think would be interesting to feature, and I do need teams. I will be still making my own teams, but I still need more. So if you've got any recommendations, please let me know. But for now, let's get into some battles. Aha! It is Dondozo. Okay, so how would this team go about dealing with Dondozo? Azumarill going to be great against it. Like, Water Fairy is very good in Dondozo, so that could be very good. They got the Meowscarada, so I wouldn't be surprised if there is Choice Scarlet Soak on the Tatsugiri. Azumarill was good here, for sure. Azumarill is very good here. Like, Azumarill is amazing here. Right, I need to help Azumarill do its thing. So I would want to go with Hariyama / Totodile and Azumarill. But I think I don't need to commit to Azumarill just yet. I can leave that in the back. What I can do is I can go with Dragapult as a lead. And if they go with Tatsugiri Dondozo, then I'll just switch into my Azumarill. There's no helping hand on this Hariyama. That would have been good with Specs, but White Guard is very good. Although, no, actually, no. White Guard helps the Azumarill with the Sylveon. No, I'm going to try and do Azumarill. Hariyama or Azumarill, if it will let me do it in time. And I want Volcarona. Assumingly, the Azumarill will be able to do reasonable things against the Dondozo, even though it's going to be unaware for any belly drums. I may not need to belly drum, because it will be able to resist the Wave Crash and the Order Up. There is Sylveon. So this isn't ideal, to be honest. Because what they can do is they can just double into their Azumarill with Hyper Voice and Flower Trick. So what I will do is I will fake out the Sylveon. And I will switch into Volcarona, which will be able to reasonably comfortably take the Flower Trick. If it is knockoff, that's not good. But this is fine. Like, this is actually a fine position now. Assuming it's a Flower Trick, then I'm fine. It is a Flower Trick, so yeah. This won't do too much because it's quad resist. Like, that's not much at all. And then I can Quiver Dance here. So it's worth White Guarding on the Hyper Voice, because that would be only be the real thing that deals with the Hariyama. So yeah, I think I'm going to White Guard. I will quit. It's got the moves in the wrong order. Like, that's good. That's the right order. That's not. That's what Heat Wave and Quiver Dance. What are you doing? Like, it objectively doesn't really matter. But, you know, I've just had them in the right order for so long that it would be weird. That's annoying. I can still just spam Heat Wave, but assumingly this is a Hyper Voice. If it's a Yawn, that's good play. Yeah, just a Hyper Voice, so that's fine. I can still go for just another Heat Wave. So now, do they go for another Hyper Voice because I just have White Guard? Because I could get cheeky and try and close combat here. And I'm going to. And I will just go for a Heat Wave. Assumingly the Meowscarada is Sash, and I will Aqua Jet that at some point now. But that was a lot of damage. But they did just attack with the Sylveon. If they go for Hyper Voice, I am not in a good position. And something with that Meowscarada, that's not good. Terra Blast, okay, but they didn't Terra, so this won't do much. Yes, it will, because Pixelate. Wow, okay, that's a cool interaction for sure. That's actually super sweet, like, that's good to know. Really bad for me, like, abysmal for me. But, yeah, the Heatwave dodge was really bad, because I could have just Aqua Jet KO'd the Masquerade, and now I'm in a very bad position. However, I can still try and do something with Dragapult. No, it does have to be a Terra... Shadow Ball will not get Sylveon from there. It does need to be a Steel-type Terra Blast. Does it need to? I can go into the Masquerade, actually. I can't protect the Volcarona. It's definitely this, and it is... Yeah, because I can ignore the Sylveon for now. Because I'm a Steel-type. I'll attempt a Heat Wave, but I will most likely be knocked off. But if they go for the Dragapult... then I do get my Heat Wave off, and then I get the double KO. But that miss on the Meowscarada was not good, because I could have gone into Azumarill this turn and Aqua Jetted. So, but things are falling apart quite quick. That interaction with Terra Blast is actually quite cool. Yeah, that doesn't matter. That's fine. Is it knockoff? It is. They're going to get burned this time, so they don't. Unfortunate. But this should bring it down to a Sash, right? Meowscarada's not that bulky. That's a cool Terra Blast. That didn't. Okay, and that's not in Aqua Jet range. I mean, I have to play as if it is. Like, I just have to go for it. And if they got Dondozo and Tatsugiri in the back, I'm not looking good. If they got Hydreigon, I am. So, oh wait. I wasn't knocked off. No, I wasn't knocked off. Yeah, I wasn't knocked off. I could let them knock me off, so that I could switch moves. But they're probably flower tricking the Azumarill. I am relying on Azumarill being as busted as it should be, and KOing this Meowscarada. Yes, of course, the Fire type, so it can resist the Terra Blast. Makes sense. And then they can just KO me. So, yeah, that needs to... If I'd have thought about that, that was definitely Aqua Jet into the Sylveon and Terra Blast into the Meowscarada. Like, for sure. Because Azumarill is busted, but this won't KO anymore. So that should have been the other way around. That would have completely countered that play. So that was a good play from them. It was readable, but that was a good play from them. Because now I lose the Dragapult for sure. And I don't think Azumarill can do it on its own. So, very, very nice text coming out from them there. That taunt was killer. Like, if they didn't have taunts, I would have still taken a knockoff. Like, it hurt, like, you saw it hurt, but I would have taken it, and then I'd have been Quiver Danced, and then I'd have actually been pretty reasonable. It is Dondozo, so, like, this is the position for Azumarill, like, to be able to somewhat take on Dondozo, but not really. So, I am forced to Aqua Jet the Sylveon, because Hyper Voice will do too much. But then they switch into the Tatsugiri. They are already just switching into Tatsugiri, so yeah, I just immediately lose. Like, there's not much I can do at this point. And I think even if I got the Quiver Dance... Why is it in the ground? I think even if I got the Quiver Dance, then I would have still not been able to come back from this. Because Dondozo waiting in the back. My counters were already somewhat gone at this point. Well, actually, no, I'd have been able to Terror into the Grass type for Corona. And then I'd be able to Giga Drain and recover back. So actually, that would have been okay. But... this is definitely over. I will not waste the time here. I will forfeit. Because I definitely do lose here, so there's no point continuing. I generally don't like to forfeit in the videos, but this would just take some time. Like, I definitely lose. It'll just take a couple of turns, so I might as well just save some time. Okay, so there's another Azumarill. Surprised I haven't seen many Azumarill. It's still a very good Pokemon. Like, Water Fairy is one of the best typings. So. Toadscrew is very good here. I like Toadscrew here. They don't have that much for it, so it seems pretty reasonable. I think... think I could probably get away with Total Volcarona. If they go with Azumarill and Moongus, then I just turn into a grass type with Volcarona, and then I just win. Dragapult is fine here. Hariyama, like, it's got knockoff, so the 2 ghosts isn't as bad. But I don't particularly like it here. Titar, not a fan, so... yeah, so Azumarill and Dragapult in the back. And I still don't like that it doesn't go down to done. It should. Like, that was a quality of life. What's the opposite of improvement? I can't even think of the word. A not improvement. Whatever that word is. Can't think of it at this current moment. I'll think of it when the video's over. But yeah, there we go. Interesting. Double Ghost. So if they Final Gambit, that's not the worst thing. I'll try and Spore, and I will it. Just got it in the wrong slot, and I will Quick Dance. If they have Choice Scarf Rock Slide, whoops. But it's a bulky Volcarona, so it is likely to survive the Rock Slide, and it will get the Weakness Policy. Scarlet does resist the Volcarona, but it will be able to Quiver Dance in front of it, so it can somewhat ignore the Scarlet, although it's going to start setting up a Torch Song at some point. Although it's got Unaware, so it's going to ignore my special defense boost, actually. So this is going to be Water type Annihilate, and it's going to have Terra Blast. That's an odd decision in front of Volcarona. I guess you're immune to the spores now. Okay, yeah, no, you're only immune to spores, but you're in front of Volcarona. You're weak to it now. That's smart, but also not so great for them. So it's kind of a mixture of both. That was not the play. You're going to burn yourself. What are you doing? I mean, Flame Body never activates, but you know. So shame I didn't Spore the Annihilate there. But they are now weak to Heat Wave. If I attack them, then they power up Rage Fist. So I'm going to Spore. Do I Quiver Dance again? It doesn't help against the Skeledirge, no. So I will not Earth Power, I will Heat Wave. Because then they are now weak to this. Even though this is effectively still a neutral hit into the Skeledirge, it's now super effective, so it will still do reasonable damage. It should still two-shot. It's probably Torch Song into the... if it's Torch Song into Toadstool, this is a very good position. Because this should two-shot the Skeledirge now. Like so. And I can go into his... Not anymore. And I could have gone into the Azumarill and set up a Belly Drum as I Quiver Dance... Not Quiver Dance. Heat Wave KO them. But that's no longer an option. But does this Volcarona outspeed the Dragapult after +1? 129, yeah, it will, because we only said it's at, 170. Only outspec Garchomp. Because what I could have done is Heat Wave single target after I Shadow Ball KO the Annihilate. But that's no longer an option. Or at least not an option at the moment. I can still go for Shadow Ball. And if they have Shadow Ball themselves, then okay, fine. I can do exactly the same thing. I can still switch into Azumarill. It'll be the cost of my Dragapult. But they have just protected that slot, so I can go for Shadow Ball. I don't think Terroring to be a Steel type and immune to the Shadow Ball would help, because they could just go for another Torch Song. There's no point Quiver Dancing, because they are, assumedly, still unaware. Yeah, that was a good Citrus Berry from there. If it's a Slack Off, I'm fine with that, because that means I just keep Dragapult at full health. But I am assuming I lose Dragapult here to a Shadow Ball. But I do not. I'm fine with that. Like, keeping my Spec Shadow Ball intact is perfectly fine with me. But there is Grimmsnarl. Does it have Sucker Punch? We will see. I'm doubling into... Got it in the wrong slot. What are you doing? Should be Heatwave first. It's going to fake me out so many times. If it's Light Screen, I should still KO the common... Oh no, I will. Because this is an Infiltrator Dragapult. I want you to click the screen, please. Ooh, Grimmsnarl. It's not loaded properly. That's all, like, jagged. Yeah, Infiltrator. Nice. Infiltrator Dragapult going to be very nice here. Look at this damage through the screens. You're not going to find out because it's already going to be so low. Yeah. Didn't matter that it was Infiltrator because this would have still KO'd. But just know that that would have done more damage than it needed to. Like, all three abilities on Dragapult are entirely reasonable. With physical Dragapults, definitely go Clear Body. But when you are special, it's definitely justifiable to be the other two abilities, and Infiltrator is very good there as well. Okay, so that is the Azumarill. I can just Terra type into the Grass type here, so that I can just Giga Drain it. Just thinking the best way around in case they like protect Azumarill and Spirit Break the Dragapults. I don't actually really care. So I would just double into Azumarill. That's the threat at the moment. Grimmsnarl can't really do anything to the Volcarona. I guess it can Spirit Break not very effectively because I'm now a Grass type. And that will still reduce my damage output. So if they do protect Azumarill here and do something with Grimmsnarl, oh well. I'm still fine. So I've even got my Azumarill waiting in the back as well. So I definitely have the advantage. They didn't protect, so I win. This combination KOs. And the Citrus Berry is not on the Azumarill. You've already seen that on the Scarlet. So this will KO for sure. It probably would not have done without Infiltrator, so... Okay, fine. Be that way. Make me look like a fool. I'm usually pretty good with my damage intuition, but I guess that's within the margin of error, but fine. Be that way, Azumarill. Be bulkier than you have any right to be. Probably its old best. Like, there we go. Yeah. Factoring in the Flame Body that was definitely going to activate this turn. Of course I was going to KO the Azumarill this turn. That's how it works. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's within the margin of error, like the damage rolls of my damage intuition. So I'm fine with that. There's a fully loaded Grimmsnarl. And then we just wait. I know I had to click through my moves because that was fully loaded. And now it's all jaggedy again. Like, what's up with that? Oh well, not complaining. That was quite funny. Okay, that's indeed male instead of the female. Oh, that's the Choice Scarf Lava Plume, isn't it? Into the Daxbun. Daxbun? Daxbun? I'm gonna go with Daxbun. And that will outspeed my Dragapults. Even though Dragapults could outspeed Armarouge. But then, no, I was going to say my Dragapult's very good against the Daxbun, but then it can just still snarl me. Even though it can't body press me. But I definitely do want to bring Dragapult here. If I can take care of Indeedee, I can just spam Shadow Ball pretty freely. I guess Meowscarada to an extent as well. There's not much stopping me from just going with Toedscruel. Like, Lava Plume won't do too much. I guess Armor can, but then I can just Terrestrialize with the Toedscruel. I have decided they will not burn my Azumarill as they Lava Plume. And it's between Volcarona and Tyranitar. I'll be quite weak to the Meowscarada if I don't bring Volcarona. So I'm bringing Volcarona. Oh, we both haven't done our training card. Like, someone still remind me to do my training card. I need reminders. Okay, so they're going with the Lava Plume. Like, I just decided I'm not going to be burned on the Azumarill. Now, do I Terrestrialize the Toedscruel and definitely survive an Armor Cannon? I'll survive a Lava Plume, so I don't need to go for a Terrestrialization if I just... Well, this one isn't Citrus Berry, so a Body Press would then probably KO me. I will be greedy here. If it's Armor Cannon, then they don't get the boost to the Dax Bun. If they do Lava Plume, that doesn't KO Toadstool. Like, look at that. That's terrible. And I decided it's not going to burn my Azumarill, but of course, this is Pokemon, so of course it will. So, not ideal, but that won't KO. If you're interested in the EVs on that Toadstool, then go and check out my guide on it. So, yeah, not the most ideal, but there we go. I mean, plus 2 play rough is still going to be fine. I didn't spore the Dax Bun because it has Substitute, so I didn't want to spore into a Substitute. But now that Armarouge is asleep, that's perfectly fine. I don't have enough HP to survive another Body Press, do I? So what I can do is I can go into my Dragapult. If they substitute, then I'm fine with that because I'm Infiltrator. And I will play rough the Armarouge that is likely to switch out into something else. Because Body Press isn't doing too much to Azumarill either, and burned +6 Body Press is still going to do reasonable damage. They didn't switch out the Armarouge, which is an interesting decision. But that's fine. Are they turning into a ghost? Okay, that was not the play. You're asleep. You're useless. Bit late for that. You should have done that on the first turn. What are you doing? If you did that on the first turn, you'd have been in a great position, but that was not the play. I guess they were expecting Aqua Jet, but I'm not Aqua Jetting, and there's Body Press, so that's good. And that's now a KO. Thank you very much. Very kind of you to Terastallize at turn too late. Like, they'd have been in such a good position if they just Terastallized for turn 1. But, like, knowing when to Terastallize is going to be a key thing in this format, for sure. Terastallization is obviously going to be massive. It's going to take some getting used to know when to Terastallize. Or know when is the time to Terastallize. Obviously, it might not be. There might never be one. But there is the Meowscarada. Okay, so now I can just go for... I don't want to go for Flamethrower, because then I'm locked into Flame... Oh, I can just switch out. What am I doing? I do want to go Flamethrower, because Meowscarada is the threat at the moment. So if I just do this, then I'm sorted. Because they didn't Sucker Punch my Dragapult, that was my only concern. This is a slow Dragapult. Definitely forgot about that. Oh well, too late now. But at least the Meowscarada's KO'd. And I do have room to switch out the Dragapult. If I was locked into Flamethrower here for the rest of the game, that would have been a very, very awkward position. But I am not, so it's fine. Yeah, because I'm definitely switching out, like, for sure. Do I go into Toadstool or into Volcarona? I think it's Volcarona, right? Yeah, it's Volcarona. They can Snarl me, but I'll match it with a Quibberdance, and it is Azumarill. I am fine with that. Because I can Terastallize into the Grass type now. I can switch into my Toadstool. I can Terastallize and Giga Drain. And I should be fine. This should be strong enough that they can't Belly Drum. And that's the important thing. And Snarl won't KO the Toadstool either, so then I'll be able to threaten with a Spore, forcing a Substitute, and all that good stuff. So both Terastallizing our Fire types into a Grass type this game. So will this be a Belly Drum? Because this should be strong enough to put a stop to that. That's exactly strong enough. Because they are not going to be able to recover. But it's not... oh no, this is the Mystic Water one, isn't it? No Belly Drum in sight. But yeah, Snarl's not going to KO. Liquidation is not the play because I resist now. And now I am sorted. So... best way of doing this... Like, I don't think it's a guaranteed path to victory. I think I can Earth Power the Azumarill and protect the Volcarona. I don't care if they sub, that's damaging themselves. It's just that they protect the Azumarill this turn. Like, protect and Snarl. And they did, so yeah, I'm fine. I think that play covered most things that could have happened. Oh, and I do outspeed the Daxman. Nice. Good to know. If the Snarl misses, that comes into play. But they body press, so that's fine. Now I can very, very safely lock into Shadow Ball. And that will two-shot the Daxbund. Or Daxbun. And Giga Drain will KO. And like in Giga Drain for the rest of the game, Heat Wave is pointless here. Because resistance and immunity. But they are just stuck snarling. Like, and that's not strong enough. Double Protect is the play, but didn't get it, so I'm sorted. And this will two-shot the Daxbun as well. You know, just like that. I mean, technically it won't, because they will have Snarl me. Although, actually, it did close to 60%. It might do 40%. But even if it doesn't, the Giga Drain KOs, so... Oh no, it won't, it's lefties, so... Is that the first damage I've done to the Daxbun? It just sat on the field and just didn't do much, so... Yeah, I don't particularly rate the strategy of Lava Plume yourself. I don't think the Daxbun is good enough to be able to enable that properly. But this will KO with this combination. And it would have KO'd without the leftovers. Good to know. Totally pointless count to have in my head, but there we go. That will take the win against this. So, not too bad. They were just stuck relatively weakly body pressing, but if they did terrestrialize that Armor Rouge on turn 1, that would have been a totally different game. But turn 2, not the play.